अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 9, verse number 36. We've been reading the story of Dhruva Maharaj, how he went to the forest and he got the darshan of the Lord. And then Lord blessed him to have a separate planet for himself. And then he read the 6 verses in which he was lamenting that after having darshan of the Lord in one lifetime, which is so rare, and he only got this boon instead of getting love or priti for the Lord. So this was the dissatisfaction in his mind, and this is to teach us, because Bhagavatam began to establish prema, Krishna prema as the highest goal of life, more than liberation. So this story also explains that although Dhruva got something which no one else could get, because Lord himself said, and Dhruva himself was having this resolve that I want to post something which is higher than anything anyone else has ever had. And he got it. And after that also he felt dissatisfied. So what does it prove? Or what does it imply? It implies that any other power or position which we can get in the material world will not satisfy us, because we can never attain something which Dhruva attained. There is nothing we can attain which comes even close to what he attained. And even he felt that he has got a piece of glass instead of getting Chintamani, transcendental touchstone. So then we should not make effort for anything like that. That is the implied meaning behind the story. So again and again these stories in Bhagavatam, they explain that the only thing which can satisfy us is Krishna Prema. And that was the very question asked in the first chapter, and the answer was given in the second chapter, that there is nothing else which can please. So same topic is brought up again and again in different ways to convince us, because we are very obstinate. So originally Chatusloki Bhagavatam only has 4 verses, because the matter is very simple. Right? There's Lord, He is the source of everything, because He says, I was there in the beginning, there was nothing else. Ahmeva asameva adre nanyat sampahani sadasat. Which implies that He is the material cause, He is the efficient cause, He makes this universe, we are born here. And then He talks about Gyan Vigyan, talks about devotion. So that's all is there. But to make that understand, then Vyasa wrote this big book. So he is not deviating from his point. Many times people ask that, what do we have to do this? We should only read the 10th canto. No, that is fine, you can read the 10th canto, but if you are not pure-hearted, if you are not clear in your head, then you will bring 10th canto also to your level instead of you elevating yourself to the 10th canto. So that's why these stories are important to understand. So Maitreya, he is speaking now again to Vidura. Navai mukundasya padaravindayo rajojusastata bhavadrisha janaha vanchanti taddasyam vritarthatma atmano vadicchya labdhamanas mriddhayah. So Maitreya, because he is speaking with Vidura, who is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So in case Vidura thinks that if this is the situation with Dhruva, what about me? So he says that Navai mukundasya padaravindayo rajojusastata bhavadrisha. He says people like you, who are great devotee, who know the essence of the scripture, who are attached to tasting the pollen from the lotus feet of the Lord, like lotus has a pollen and the bumblebees go there. So like that, devotees, they are very much attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. So attached to lotus feet of the Lord means to service. Attachment to lotus feet is just a way of saying that they take no interest except in devotion, in service. So just like the bee does not take any other interest, it only goes from one flower to another flower. It does not sit on the leaves and waste time. So it's always flying. So that is the meaning of Rajojusastata Bhavadrisha Vanchanti Taddasyam Vite. It says, therefore people like you don't want anything else except dasya or service. Rite artham atmano yadrichya labdhamana smriddha. He says, because you know that other things, they will come anyway. There is no need to harbor desire for other things. The other things, they will come for whatever we have done in our past life. So, in other words, we should not waste our energy, our time, and even our thought process in desiring anything else. So that is the meaning of being fully devoted. It's like the water of the Ganga river is non-stop flowing only towards the ocean. It's not that at night it takes rest and then in the morning it again starts flowing. It's flowing all the time. So our mind should flow like this, towards God, towards Krishna. Whether you are awake or you are sleeping, doesn't matter. So, Manogatir avachinna. So avachinna means without any break. So that's what he's saying. Dasyam Vitayati, Yadrichya Labdha Manasam. He said all these other things they come. Evam nisprihatvam tasya yuktam ityaha naiti. So Maitreya says that devotees, they are nispriha, they do not have any independent desires. Because they don't have independent existence. They don't have any separate thought process, thinking themselves as separate, independent. Rajojusaha parag rasaswadam. So why? Because they are taking such relish in this saffron from the feet of the Lord. Dasyam rite, and therefore they don't desire anything else. So service is most pleasing when you have a loving relationship with somebody, and to serve that person is most satisfying. Nothing else satisfies more than that. What to speak if that object of love is Krishna, who is equally reciprocating, yathamam prapadyate, or even more. In the material world, you love somebody, it is not guaranteed that the other person will also reciprocate. Mother loves the baby. What is the reciprocation of the baby? It's ignorant. Baby does not even know that mother is loving me so much. But Krishna is not ignorant. He understands. So therefore he reciprocates. And this is the highest ecstasy. When a person can act according to the relation, and there is nothing more pleasurable than that. If there is husband and wife behaves like a wife and husband behaves like a husband, then there is bliss. But when they don't behave according to the relation, then there is no happiness. So Krishna therefore is the Supreme Person. Why he is considered as Swayam Bhagavan? Because he is the only one who can reciprocate. Nobody else can reciprocate like him. Even other forms of God cannot reciprocate. They are not capable. Only Krishna. So that's why he is the highest object of love. So that's why he said that devotees, what they want is only Dasa. It's useless to ask for anything else. Atmano arthamanyam na vanshanti. So they don't want anything else. Yadrichya labdhena vastuna mansa smriddhi. Because they are so satisfied, first of all, they don't have any other desires. They are so complete in themselves. And second thing is that whatever is necessary, God supplies that anyway. So yes, he is supplying even to birds and beasts who are not educated. They are also living. So why he will not give to his devotee? So that's why the devotee is not interested in any other desires. So after this, he describes how Dhruva reaches to his father's kingdom. Akarne atmajam ayantam samparetya yathagatam rajana sraddade bhadram abhadrasya kuto mama. When the king was sitting, then somebody came and gave him the news. And Dhruva is coming. So first he did not believe it. It was as if somebody has come back to life after dying. But how can you expect that a 5-year-old boy goes to the forest and comes back alive? Because these were Indian forests, not Western forest. You can go to Western forest and come back alive. You go to the Indian old forest, you don't come back alive because it's full of tigers, lions, all varieties of wolves, snakes. How can you remain alive here? In 6 months, you will be killed. Even elephants can trample you, bears, all types. So much variety here in the forest. In the West, I think even if there are snakes, they don't bite. They are more peaceful. So he says that he actually Akarne Atmaja Mayantam Samparityathagatam Rajana Swaddhate. The king did not believe it. Thought that this is a dream. So Bhadram Abhadrasya Kutomam. He says that I am so inauspicious, unfortunate. So how is it possible that I will have such a fortune that my son comes back? So this was his first thought. Tato madhuvanat dhruvasya swadesh gamanam bandhu nidhanadikam varnayati akarniti. So he describes his coming back from the Madhuvan, Dhruva's return. Sraddhaya vakyam devarse harsavegena dharshitaha varta harturati prito haram pradhan mahadhanam. But then what happened that he remembered the statement of Narada Rishi. If you remember that after Narada met Dhruva and initiated him in the mantra, then he went and met the king, Tanpa, Dhruva's father. And he informed him that don't worry about Dhruva, he is safe and he will come back. So then only he believed that yes, it is possible because Narada cannot be wrong. So then he was so happy that Harsavegena Dharshita, that he was totally overpowered by the feelings of happiness. And then out of that happiness, he took out very precious necklace and gave to the person who brought the news. He was so happy. Like when you are happy, you want to give. So haram pradhan mahadhan. Esyati achirata iti devarse vakya sraddhaya. Because Devarsi Narada has told him that very soon your son will come back. So he remembered it. Sadasvam ratham aruhya kartaswara pariskritam brahmanai kula vriddhaischa pariyasto atmatya bandhuvi. So then he got a very nice chariot, and which was yoked with very wonderful horses, and it was decorated with golden ornaments. Then he got surrounded by brahmanas and the other elderly people, relatives. So he was very eager, and he rode the chariot. And the ministers, he was surrounded by his ministers and other relatives. Sankhadundubhi nadena brahma ghoshena venubhihi nischakrama puratunam atmajamikshanotsukah. So he was very, very eager to see his son. Therefore he came out from the city very quickly to see him, along with the blowing of the conches, dundubi, and also the chanting of the Vedas and playing of the flute. So this is a very nice description how they receive a person in the Vedic times. So blowing conch is considered as very auspicious. So you begin, it's like when you start doing the arti, you blow the conch. So there was blowing of the conches and other auspicious instruments like flute, etc. They were played, and of course chanting of the Vedic mantras by the Brahmanas, which is very melodious and very wonderful and pleasant to the ears. Sunitihi surichischasya mahisya rukma bhushite आरुह्य शिवकां सार्धं उत्तमेनाभिजग्मतुः. And then both queens, Suniti and Suruchi, they also decorated themselves with golden ornaments and they sat in the palanquin along with Uttama, the son of Suruchi. So all three were in one. So now earlier it is the same Suruchi who was not willing that Dhruva should sit in the lap of his father Uttanpad, but now they are sitting together. So this shows that now she has also realized the greatness of Dhruva Maharaj. So she also became very eager to see, and by the grace of the Lord, her envy towards Dhruva and his mother was gone. And now he is such a great devotee. Uttamena balakena saha ekam sivikam arohye. So they were in one palanquin along with Uttama, the boy. Dhruvasya niskramana dinta eva ragya bahutaram anutaptena narad asvasitena dhruva matre eva saubhagyam dattam uttamatre tu daubhagyam. So he said that when Narada Rishi came after Dhruva left, so Dhruva was Uttanpad was already lamenting and repenting that he did not protect his son Dhruva, who was so nice and well behaved. And then he was consoled by Narada that don't worry, he is alive, he will come back and he will become a great devotee. So since that day onwards, he started favoring Dhruva's mother and not Uttama's mother. So now it's changed. But Tadapi Dhruvamata Sunitir Vinaya Rashi Stam Saputram Swasibikam Sivikayam Avrohamasa Itattam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti said that still Suniti, Dhruva's mother, who was very, very polite and humble, she asked Suruchi to come and sit in her palanquin. Otherwise she could have come separately. But because now there will be all attention on Dhruva's mother, and everybody knows that she is the one who told Dhruva that only Lord Vishnu can help him. So, and no one will bother about Suruchi. Actually, everybody will look at her with a critical eye, in a despicable mood. Like, look at this female. How could she do such a thing to a little boy? So Suniti, she understood this, and in the material world one will feel very proud and think that now I'm going to teach her a lesson, and they will actually enjoy this attention and criticism of the adversary. But devotees does not take interest like that, because the devotee is not envious, is not jealous. So she asked Suruchi to come and sit with her, and when people will see that she is sitting with her, then they will not be so critical and condemn her. So that's why it is said that they sat in one palanquin, all three of them. Tam drishtva pavanabhyasa ayantam tarasarathat amruhya nirpastunam asadya prema vivalaha. So King Uttanpad, he saw his son very close to him near the garden, and when he saw this, then he immediately jumped from the chariot, and because he was so eager to see his son, and he came forward. So drishtva upanabhyasa ayantam tarsarathat avruhya nirpastunam asadya premyam. He was full of love. And parirebhe angajam dorbhyam dirghotkantamanaha swasan visvaksenanghari sansparsa hatasesa agabandhanam. So he embraced his son with both of his arms, and he was breathing heavily because of his eagerness, which was made him wait for so long. So Visvaksena Angri Sansparsa Hat Asesa Agabandhanam. So he was embracing Dhruva Maharaj. And who is Dhruva? Dhruva is that who has become free from all the sins because of the contact of the lotus feet of the Lord. So king was able to understand that he is not just that ordinary Dhruv now, but he is that great person who has had direct darshan of the Lord, direct vision of the Lord. So anyone who has seen Lord like this naturally is not just an ordinary person. So Uttanpad, of course, he is a learned person, he is son of Manu, so he understands this. So there is no limit to his happiness that he has a son like this. There is a verse in the Purana which says that if a devotee is born in one's family, then the forefathers in the heaven, they start dancing. That a devotee is born in our family, because they know that now we will all become free from all our sins. So what to speak of Uttanpad, he has his son directly in front of his eyes. Atha jingran muhur mudni Shitaynaina varibhihi snapyamasa tanayam jatodam manoratah. So he was smelling his head out of affection. This is one way of showing affection. And he was giving bath to his son from the tears, cold tears coming out from his eyes. So you know that there are three types of tears, right? Hot and cold and medium. Because they come from Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So these tears which come from happiness, they are cold. And the tears which come from grief, their heart warm. So therefore it is said here that Shitair Nainavari, cooling, and they come from three different parts of the eyes. So Snapyamasa Taniyam, he so much tears. Usually tears come little bit but when there is ecstasy of love, then tears can come if there is a tap opened from the eyes. They can flow like that. These are symptoms of love. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is described that when Lord Chaitanya was there, and sometimes when he was dancing in front of Lord Jagannath, and tears will come out from his eyes that people will go and drink it. It was just like there is a tap flowing. So it's a fact. So it's just hyperbole. That's a reality. So Jata Uddama Manoratha, because his wish was fulfilled. He was completely satisfied. His will was that he wanted to see his son again. So he's so happy. So now how Dhruva is reacting, that is described. Abhivandya pituhu pada vashir shibhischa vimantitaha nanam matra sirshna sakritaha sajjanagranihi. So what Dhruva did, that he paid obeisances at the feet of his father and got his blessings, Ashirvachan. And then he bowed down to his two mothers who asked for his welfare. So, and therefore he is called here as Sajjana Agrani. Dhruva is called here as the leader of the, what you call, well-behaved Sajjan. Nicely behaved people, well-behaved. So he is called Sajjana Agrani. So he was not having any enmity anymore towards his father, his brother, stepbrother or stepmother. He was completely humble, peaceful and respectful. He did not even want to remind them of their improper behavior. That is the meaning of well-behaved. He did not want to feel them embarrassed. So he went and he paid obeisances to them. Nanu suruchim dukhdainim katham sirshna nanam. So if someone says that why did he put his head at the feet of his stepmother, because he created so much trouble, so he says because he is Sajjana Agrani. He is the chief of the modest people, gentle, well-behaved. Suruchestam samuthapya padavanatamarbhakam parisajvaha jiveti baspagadgadaya gira. So Suruchi, the stepmother, when she saw that Dhruva has fallen down at his feet, so she lifted him up and embraced and gave her blessings that you live long, which he did. And she had a faltering voice, choked voice. She was also very emotional at that time. Yasya prasanno bhagavan gunair maitriadibhir harihi tasmai namanti bhutani nimnamapaiva swayam. So this is a principle that when someone becomes the object of Lord's grace, Lord is pleased in him, then everyone becomes pleased with that person. And everyone respects that person, just as the water flows from high level to low level. So, another way, the verse also has another meaning, that yasya prasanno bhagavan gunai maitradi bhi hari tasmai namanti bhutani nimnam ape vasvam. That if a person is not envious of others and behaves friendly, then Lord becomes pleased with such a person. And when Lord is pleased, then everyone is pleased, naturally. So in other words, this verse is also indicating that Dhruva did not maintain or harbor any ill feelings towards Suruchi. Otherwise, usually, as it is said that the harsh words pierce our heart, and these wounds which are caused by harsh words take years to heal. If someone hurts you with a knife, then it can heal few months. But if someone hurts you with sharp, critical words, then you remember this for the rest of your life. But here it is shown that Dhruva, he did not feel anything ill towards his stepmother. Otherwise, why would he go and pay obeisance system? And this is very pleasing to God. God is very pleased with such a person who is not jealous or envious of anybody. So like Yudhishthira Maharaj is called Ajata Shatru, means a person whose enemy is not born. In other words, nobody can be his enemy. So what does it mean that nobody is his enemy? That he does not consider anyone as his enemy. Even if others think that he is their enemy, he does not think like that. So therefore, no enemy is born for him, because he is not going to accept anyone as an enemy. So he is called Ajata Shatru in Bhagavatam, which was having such a mood. So Lord also does not have anybody as his enemy who can be enemy of Lord. And because devotee has one heart with the Lord, then how can somebody be an enemy? So even if someone is causing problem, they don't think, unless of course somebody is against the Lord himself and wants to harm, then one has to act on that. So devotee is also not foolish or coward. Uttamascha dhruvascha bhav anyonyam prema vivalau angasangad utpalakavastobham muhuruhatu. And then he met Uttama, his brother, and they met and they were very much full of love for each other. They embraced and they had their hair standing on the end, and both of them were crying, looking at each other. So, feelings of love and affection. I think there are many comment on these verses. सुनीतिर अस्य जननी प्राणेभ्योऽपि प्रियं सुतं उपगुह्य जभवाधिं तदंग स्पर्श निर्वृता. So now he came to Suniti, and she also embraced her son, who was more dear to him than his very life, and she gave up all her grief by embracing his son and felt so happy by the touch of his son's bodily limbs. पयस्तनाभ्यां शुश्राव नेत्रजैः सलिलैः शिवैः तदविसिञ्चमानाभ्यां वीरवीरसुवो मुहुः. At that time her eyes were full of tears. The auspicious tears were flowing from the eyes, and also there was milk flowing from her breast out of love. So she actually did abhishek of Dhruva from both, in the milk and water. Milk from the breast and water from the eyes, and both were making tadavisiccha manabhyam vira vira suvam. So again and again she did this, and she is called the mother of a hero. And Maitreya is also calling Vidura as a hero, Shivalrasa Vira, because Vidura is also great devotee. So at that time all the people, they started glorifying Suniti. ताम संससुर्जना राज्ञीं दृष्ट्या ते पुत्रत आर्तिहा प्रतिलब्धश्चिरं नष्टो रक्षिता मंडलम भुवि भुवः. Then the people, they praised the queen Suniti and said that indeed you are very fortunate that you have got your son who was lost after a long time. It is by your good fortune that he has come back, and he will relieve all of us from distress and will protect the earth for a long period of time. So this is how people were talking. So that means they were already imagining that Dhruva will become the king. And who would not like a person like Dhruva to be the king? Abhyarshitasttvaya nunam Bhagavan pranatahari pranata yadanudhyayino dhira mrityum jigyu sudurjayam. Say that definitely you have worshipped Lord Hari, who takes all the fear of those who take shelter of him. And those who meditate on the Lord continuously, they transcend even death, which is very difficult to transcend. So this is how people were talking about Dhruva and his mother. So he has a small comment on this. He said that Sunitahe paschan milanam anand murcha bhange sati iti game. But why is that he first paid obeisances to Suruchi and then to his mother Suniti? It should have been actually other way around. That he should pay first respect to his own mother and then to stepmother. So if you remember, it is described that he paid obeisances to both of them. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that when Dhruva came close to Suniti, then Suniti went into what you call unconscious state. Sometimes when there is too much happiness, then a person can faint. So she actually fainted. It's like sometimes people faint if there is too much distress. Some very dear person in the family dies, then people can faint out of distress and grief. Similarly, if there is too much happiness, then also a person can faint. So she fainted. And when she fainted, then he was paying obeisances to Suruchi and she was embracing. And now she came back to her consciousness. And she is embracing him. He Veera Tvamiva Bhagavad Dharma Veeram Dhruva Sute Itasya Sunite. So Vidura is also called here as Veera or hero. There are various types of heroes described. There are heroes in religion and there are heroes who are very charitable. Danveer, Dharmveer, Yuddhaveer. The heroes who are hero in the battlefield. So there are heroes who are heroic in giving charities. And there are heroes who are heroic in following the religious principles. So Vidura is a hero not on the battlefield but in following the principles of Dharma. So he is Dharma Veera. So he is calling him as Veera. Lalyamanam janairevam dhruvam sabhatram bhratram nipah aropya karinim hrishta stuyamano shatpuram. So when Dhruva was being fondled like this by the people and praised, then the king put Dhruva on a female elephant along with his brother Uttama. So now they are riding on an elephant, female elephant, and then being glorified he entered the city. So if you have seen Indian marriages, then the bridegroom rides on a horse, but they actually rise on a mare. So that is considered as more auspicious than riding a horse. So similarly here it is mentioned that he put on a karini, not on a karin, not on a male elephant but female, because females are considered as auspicious than male. So when there is some auspicious occasion, then females come first with the pot of water. Brahmanas, they are symbol of auspiciousness. So this will also be described. अभ्यर्चिता इत्यतः एव स्वपुत्रस्य मृत्युं तं अजयशीलिति भावः एवं नृपोऽपि दृष्ट्या पादौन् श्लोकद्वयेन जनैः स्तूयमानः पुरं भविष्यति. So like now they are all entering, and in the next 4 verses there is a description of the city, how the city was decorated. People, this is how in the olden days people used to decorate on good occasions and things which are considered as auspicious. Tatra tatra upasankliptair lasana makara toranaihi savrindaihi kadali stambhai pugapotai satadvidhai. So at different places they made these gates with leaves and trees, and also this bandarwar. You take the leaves, you tie them in the thread and you hang them. And they also put pillars made from banana plant. So you cut the banana plant and you put them on both sides, you enter through it. So banana is considered as very auspicious. And along with Puga Potai. Puga is this supari, betel nut. So the plants of betel nut, they especially grow in Assam. So they are also considered as auspicious. Chuta Pallava Vasaha Swang Muktadama Vilambibhi Upaskritam Prati Dwaram Apam Kumbhai Sadipakai. So people, they decorated their entrances of the houses with the leaves of mango tree. So that is also considered as very auspicious. And they put fragrant water and garlands, and also they were hanging gems from their doors. Because India was very opulent in olden days. Gold, diamonds, gems, they were found in plenty here. And everybody on their gate, they put water pots. So you take a mud pot, you fill it up with the water, and then you cover it with the leaves, and in the center you put a coconut, and you put this thread around it, and then you put a lamp on it. So this is the mark of auspiciousness. So this is all being described here. Puram Varnati, the city is being described here. Upsankriptair tadanimev udyanadibhya aniye aropitai. So they have just plucked these flowers and fruits all fresh. Lasan makarani toranani. They also made various designs, like a crocodile design. Sometimes, if you have seen decoration on the temples here, now they will start. When the summer comes, then the temples, they decorate with flowers. And very beautifully they decorate. Because flower is supposed to be cooling, so they, just to cool the temple and the Lord, it is called full bangla. And they make this whole house from flowers and from banana plant. So they make very wonderful designs. Not just garland hanging, but there is a lot of art in it. And it's only for one night. Actually they work whole day, and then in the evening you can see it. So everybody goes to have darshan, and in the morning it is removed. So this big art, and also in South India they are very expert in making garlands in different ways. So there are special people who are trained for that. So he described that everybody decorated their houses. And Savrintai Phala Manjari Yuktai. There were also manjaris from the trees, like mango, before the fruit comes, and the fruit also. Kadali Stambhai Upaskrita Patidwaram. And you put banana plant on both sides of the entrance of your house. That is very auspicious. Prakarai Gopuragarai Shatakumbha Parichadai Sarvatolankritam Srimad Vimana Shakaradubhi. So then there is first further description how the houses were decorated. That's what you call parapets, and these different parts of the houses. And this Gopuram. So they are all decorated with different types of leaves, fruits and flowers, garlands, gems, and also putting the curtains which were made from gold. A golden work was done on that. So this is how the decoration was done everywhere. And Mrishta Chatvara Rathyartha Marga Chandana Charchitam Laja Chatai Puspafalai Standulai Balibhiritam. The roads were clean, and there were also highways before. Because actually the word used here is Atta Marga. Marga means a way and Atta means high. So there were actually highways before also. So they were all very clean, and there were different types of highways, just like we have motorway, and what are the other names? Expressway, highway, and so here also they have different names, Chatvar, Rathya, Attamarga. So what they did, that they took water and mixed with fragrance and sandalwood, oil and sandalwood paste, and they sprinkled it, so everything was fragrant. So you walk, because they are not speeding through it, they are walking on elephant, walking slowly. So you can relish all these decorations and the beauty. It's like when some dignitaries come, they come in a nice car, Rolls Royce, and the car is moving at a slow speed, 5 kilometers an hour. And the person stands in the center, looking around and waving. So this is the procession. Then another is that Laja and Akshatai. Then you take the rice and you fry it. So throwing that rice also on the path. And when somebody is walking, then you throw it behind. That is also considered as very auspicious. And Akshat is barley.
With salt?
No salt.
Only rice barley.
Yeah.
Is that where the tradition came in the West to throw, like at weddings, people throw rice?
Yeah. You throw behind the person.
We throw in front of the house.
Throw it at the face.
So, especially in the marriages, the bridegroom is walking and there is a lady who is continuously throwing behind. They also throw money, coins. So, and Puspa Falair, Tandulair, Balibhiryatam. In different places there are flowers and fruits. Somebody wants a refreshment. And also Tandul. Tandul is rice with the husk on it. And there are also ornaments and cloths. All this decoration was there. So Dhruvaya Pathi Drishtaya Tatra Tatra Purastriya Siddhartha Kshata Dadhyambur Durva Puspa Falani Cha. Now he described what I was saying through him. Upjahu Prayunjana Vatsalyada Shisha Satihi Srinivastadavalgu Gitani Pravishad Bhavanam Pituhu. Then the ladies of the city, they came out to see Dhruva on the path walking, and they are the one who are throwing barley, and Akshata means the rice, and usually this is mixed with yogurt and yellow color, so this is like playing holy. So you don't throw too much of this, and you also take the durba grass and you dip it in water and you sprinkle, and also throw flowers. So this is all considered as very auspicious and good reception. So they were all throwing Upjahu, Prayunjana, Vatsalya, Dasishasati, and they all had great affection for him, and everyone was blessing. All the ladies were blessing Dhruva that you live long, you live long. So while hearing all these blessings and seeing this reception, and also beautiful songs were sung, Valgugitani. So you know that how people in India are very fond of singing and dancing. At every opportunity they will sing and dance. Yesterday night also they did it. After India won, then there was a big celebration. I had one guest this afternoon, so he was saying that there were about 150 people watching the match on a big screen, sitting in the garden, and then when they won, then they called for the music party, playing this drum, and everybody danced. And then they had dinner. So this is the Indian style of enjoying. So this is how he entered the palace of his father. This is described. So then later on there will be a description of the palace and what did he do after arriving. And we will read tomorrow.
How does the process work? The devotee is born into a family that everyone now is also cleansed.
Well, it works by association. Means if you have a bad fellow in your family, then you hear about his ill deeds, right? And you also become implicated if you enjoy what he's doing, which many times people do. If he is making money in scam, then they also become party to that. Similarly, if there is a devotee born, then forefathers, they know, then they hear what he is doing, they think about it, and that's what is purifying. Just as hearing about God is purifying, hearing about devotee is also purifying. What is the meaning of purification? That when you hear this, then you give up your desire to be independent of God and enjoy. So that's how it happens.
Now this Durga coming back, he has forgiven everybody and actually he doesn't have any, he's realized and he doesn't give any, he doesn't attach any importance to what has happened before, and he treats everybody equally, and he considers that he doesn't consider anymore what has happened before. So then from basically he doesn't take the offense. But still later on these people will know that the mother, the stepmother and also the brother, they
The offense is done and they are not apologizing to him.
but she was also repentant, the stepmother.
There is no description of any repentance.
No, no description. No, because you were saying that Suniti is so great that she was not keeping.
Yeah, but Suruchi, you see, if you do an offense, then you have to get rid of it by pleasing that person. If that person is not taking offense, that is another thing. But Bhakti has her own way of dealing.
Then still they have to suffer for that offense.
Yes. Also the damage was done. But if you displease somebody, then you go and please, they will do that. Okay, now he is seeing God, everybody is happy with him. We are also happy. But what did they do? When Dhruva left, so there is no description that she was morose or unhappy. There is a description that Uttampa was unhappy. And lamenting, but there is no description that Suruchi was lamenting.
Another thing then, the king, he was, in the beginning he was favoring the other wife.
Suruchi.
And then when all this that has happened, then he felt very bad about it. And then when he heard about the greatness of the son of Suniti, then he started to favoring her and neglect the other one. But it's not the same, it's also a mistake. Because, I mean, it seems that he cannot be equal, he cannot be like, why would we say
How can he be equal if he knows that Suniti is so well behaved and she was ill behaved? So why should he be equal?
in the beginning he made a mistake too,
Yeah. So now he is correcting it.
by giving respect.
Why should he give importance to person who is ill behaved and who has thrown one of his sons out of the palace?
auspicious to ride the female animal?
I think female energy is more like affectionate, loving, kind. Male energy is more aggressive. If you see males of any species, they are more aggressive than females. That's what it means.
Another thing is when a person is realized, like now in this case, Gurunga, but still he is accepting all this affection of the mother and the father and whatever they did for him to receive him, he was accepting all this love and affection. No? It's not that he was thinking, oh, he was enjoying all this affection. He was enjoying that affection.
Enjoying.
I mean, he was happy to receive this. He was in
I don't know, he didn't say that he was happy, he just passed through it. He took notice of it. He was not feeling proud about it. That I'm so great and everybody is receiving.
You mentioned about how no other form of Krishna reciprocates as much, or does it mean that Krishna reciprocates more? Because Vishnu reciprocated with Dhruva to some degree, right?
Well, because it is Krishna who can reciprocate in different relations. As a friend, as a son, as a lover. In other forms they cannot reciprocate. Mostly it is master-servant relationship,
I see.
not even as a friend. So, but Krishna can reciprocate in all relations. So that's why he is one Bhagavan.
Throughout Bhagavatam, many times we encounter descriptions like this one about the cities and detailed descriptions which seem relatively unimportant, and even it may seem that delving deeply into those topics is a waste of time. What is actually the use of such topics?
There are two things. One is that, as I said, that the subject matter of Bhagavatam is bhakti, which is there even in the 4 verses of Chatusloki Bhagavatam. But the same message is expanded in the form of story, and then when you explain story, then you have to give some shape and form to it, so you add things. That is one thing. Second thing is that this is a style of description which is called Sahitya, or literary way of saying things. And this is part of literature to describe like that. So those who are Sahridaya, the poetics, they relish this. So in the beginning of Bhagavatam it is said that Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamale Huraho Rasika Hui Bhavuka, that you drink, or Rasika. So this is also a type of relish, because you can appreciate that how there are such nice things in the creation of the Lord. Third thing is that even in our own life we should try to have these things, because they are auspicious in the sense that they bring an energy which is helpful to bring peace to the mind, because everything creates an influence on the mind. What is considered as auspicious and what is considered as inauspicious is that there are certain things which influence your mind in a positive way and certain things which are influencing in a negative way. So if you see certain colors, certain music, it irritates your mind. And then there are certain colors, music, objects that brings some calmness. So it is also good to know that. That is another. So I'll stop here.